weird theme throughout minimalism that like you shouldn't keep things just in case. It is bogus. You shouldn't have extra blankets because you can't possibly need extra blankets. You shouldn't have extra sheets because your whole family probably won't have the stomach flu at the same time and vomit all over the sheets that you have. You shouldn't have more than one pair of pants because you will never actually be able to wear more than one pair of pants at a time. This is all bullshit. I agree with the masses on this platform that you don't maybe need to stock an entire Michael's store full of scrapbooking material just in case you decide to pick up that COVID hobby again. Or that you need to keep the jeans that you wore in high school just in case you actually go through with the diet and grind your bones down so that you can fit back into them. But having items just in case is kind of what your house is for. Unless you're one of those extreme minimalists, and to you, I tip my hat, sir. It's not gonna work for me. I do still live in a first world country and have a kid and a life that constantly surprises me. So here are 6 things that you might have figured I would have decluttered by now that I still have more than one of than maybe an orthodox minimalist would have. But I'm not perfect. I'm just making videos on the internet trying to connect with people. Hair ties. I go through periods of long hair and short hair. I have a cardboard box that I have been using for years to corral my hair ties in my little bathroom cabinet. I could not tell you the last time I bought a pack of hair ties. Nope, no idea. They're all a little stretched out. They're all mixed matched, but I'm usually just using one at a time for a ponytail. So it's fine. I also have some for the guests in our guest bathroom just in case one of the many people that filters through my house on a yearly basis needs a hair tie. Would I throw them away? No! Anybody who has long hair, who has used hair ties, can tell you. They disappear on their own. I do have one claw clip for my long hair right now. I did buy it on Facebook Marketplace, and I do really like the way it holds my hair. I'm in on the trend, but I did it responsibly. This hair tie, for example, I got from the American Girl Doll store in Chicago when I was 9 years old. I didn't plan to bring this today as an example for you. It's a good hair tie. So it stays. Nailclippers and tweezers. So does anyone else have like a blended household that somehow has 4 pairs of nail clippers and only 1 pair of tweezers that they actually like to use, but like a bunch of other pairs that they don't really like, but they do need around sometimes? Just me? No? I just don't know how we had so many. I don't remember having extra nail clippers and extra tweezers like when we combined our homes 10 years ago. Now, being a lady with a purse, I like having a pair of nail clippers and a pair of tweezers in my couple of little bags so that no matter what bag I take that day, I am prepared. Plastic and paper bags. Yes, I have plastic bags in my home. I've talked about them in other videos, and I even show you how to fold them like a crazy person because I have them because they are a part of life in the United States as much as I wish that they weren't. My husband has finally been trained not to take the plastic bags from the grocery store because, guys, my husband does all of our grocery shopping. It's no big deal. But he used to come home with plastic bags. I'm like, use the reusable ones. He wouldn't. It's fine. He's finally been trained out of it. But instead of just straight up recycling the ones that we do end up getting through whatever channels they come into my home, I fold them and I keep them for some of the really messy jobs around our house, like scooping the litter box. Although we actually have like a zero waste litter box situation now that's not electronic. I really like it. Maybe I'll do a whole video on that at some point. I know it's not the most sustainable thing, but I'm not acquiring more every single week and every single time I go to the grocery store, and we're reusing them, and that's about the best I can do. Our supply is dwindling because whenever I need to drop something off with somebody or need to scoop the litter box, we use them. So eventually I'll have no more, which will be great. And they all actually, when they're folded like the crazy person I am, fit in this little basket in our laundry room, so it's not like we have a ton of them underneath the kitchen sink cabinet somewhere, taking up a bunch of space. I use paper bags, so anytime I get like a paper bag from, you know, a thrift store or from a gift from a friend or something like that, and it's not like a gift bag, we do keep those underneath our kitchen sink, and I will use those to like drop off things at friends' houses, or when I take a lot of small things to Goodwill, or back and forth when I'm taking stuff to my parents' house. I used reusable bags for things that I know I'll get back. I use reusable bags, like the ones that are in my trunk, when I'm going and I'm getting things and I know that I'll get my bag back. If I don't need the bag back, or I'm giving it to someone and it would be a long time before I see them, I use paper bag. Just reusing queen over here. We're just the reuse queen over here. Home improvement supplies. So I live in a home owned by the bank, i.e. I have a mortgage and am primarily responsible for the maintenance on said home. So sometimes you need some spackle and a nail. Sometimes you need 2 different types of leaf blower. And not to mention the cans of paint from the couple of rooms you dared to change the color of. We don't have a crazy amount of tools, but I do have a cisgender husband, and they tend to stereotypically like tools. So we have a little bit of a collection. And sometimes that extra piece of 2x4 that we kept in the utility room comes in handy and is just the piece that we need to fix something in our home. And it cuts down on the waste of having to go to a hardware store, purchase the thing, and waste whatever additional pieces we didn't need for the project. Is this very minimal? No. But as a responsible homeowner, I keep a few things on hand to properly maintain things that need maintaining in a house. Judge how you will, but the utility room had way fewer items in it than some of the other rooms in our home when I counted everything we owned. Blankets. My top priority for myself is comfort. I dress comfortably. I don't like anything to be in places that are inconvenient for me to access. Any sort of inconvenience that prevents me from being the coziest version of myself is unacceptable. Mostly because the outside world makes me uncomfortable enough as it is. So in my home, comfort is key. So blankets are something I have a surplus of. Even though I did drop one off at Goodwill today. So I'm... Each bed has a comforter. It also has an extra quilt in easy proximity for those of us who get a little chilly. Plus I have 3 quilts in the living room for TV watching. 2 of which are t-shirt quilts, which are made from t-shirts that Dan and I had. One has all the t-shirts from my shows from when I was young, and the other one has all the shirts that Dan and I collected while we were traveling together, while we were courting. We weren't wearing any of these t-shirts anyway, and it cuts down on clutter in our closets, and it gives these t-shirts a new life as a really fun and special piece of like our life history. I mean, I've even got a quilt in the car because I have a kid, and in the winter, if I get stranded out somewhere and it's freezing and I've got Emmett with me, I gotta be prepared. Keep a blanket in the back of your trunk, says your internet mom. So even if the house gets cold and the world ends and the power goes out, I can at least start lighting books on fire in my fireplace and wrap myself up in a blanket and have a couple more moments of safety and coziness at the end of my days. I do not acquire new blankets though. Am I massively tempted every time I go into a Marshall's or a Home Goods or a TJ Maxx? Yes, because they're cute. The t-shirt quilts are made. The beds have quilts on them. I don't need to replace any of them. I know I have whatever I could possibly need. I've got some serious blanket forts in my future, and I'm feeling grateful that I'm properly stocked. Same vein, I do have extra sheets and extra pillowcases for all of the beds in my house. So I hear the argument of just having one set of sheets for each bed, because then you strip the bed and you are more inclined to wash the sheets promptly and put them back on the bed so that you can sleep in the bed. However, I just have one spare set of sheets for each bed in our house, mostly because each of the 3 beds is a different size. I am able to strip the beds, remake them immediately, and then do the laundry at my leisure throughout the day. Because before this system was put into place, there were so many nights, especially when the baby was very small, that I would strip the beds and get distracted. And then at the end of a very long day, come into my room and see a naked mattress. And immediately despair would settle on me. Now, do I have too many pillowcases? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't really know where they all came from. There are so many, but they are very cutely organized and they take up very little room. And because my son and I and my husband all drool, I do change the pillowcases pretty regularly. So like, it's fine. I'm a bit of a maximalist when it comes to pillowcases. Not pillows necessarily, but pillowcases. Like I said, coziness is my top priority. So I know that the idea is to not have things just in case. No, I don't need every different size straightener just in case I have a different length hair that day. I don't need every color of blazer just in case I get called to a set and they want a bright orange blazer. No. But I do have a mildly stocked medicine cabinet. I do have a couple extra linens. Yes, there is an ancient flashlight and an old crank radio in my closet just in case the end times come. But the key here is that I didn't go out and purchase these things. Definitely didn't purchase them brand new. And I definitely didn't go out and purchase them just in case. I bought them or inherited them when we needed them and keep them in case they are needed for future use. Going to Walgreens and getting one of everything to stock your brand new bathroom is not the vibe. Having a baby and buying everything that Babylist recommends, not the vibe. Keep it practical. Keep it minimal. And above all, keep it in line with your goals and your morals. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and come back and play with us some more. Feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.